Perfect.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rod Murray with another episode of What's the Game Plan? We have a special episode here. We have two teams that are both 5-7, but are headed in opposite directions, unfortunately. I'm speaking of the Washington football team and the San Francisco 49ers. I am joined by participants Pascal Todd and Javier Vega. How we doing, gentlemen?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing great.
I'm doing well. Again, I appreciate you both for joining on here. As we've seen, Washington is coming off a big win on Monday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then unfortunately, the following game right after that, we saw the San Francisco 49ers implode on themselves. And we saw what the Bills were able to do in winning that game. So we got two teams here. Won't call it bad blood, but we got some familiarity, right? You got Coach Kyle Shanahan. He's been in the Washington locker room, and then the left tackle and tight end Jordan Reed and Trent Williams as well have some familiarity with this team. So should be a fun game. Looking forward to it. But without further ado, we'll let you introduce yourselves, gentlemen. Pascal, as a visiting team, you can go first.
Just Pascal Todd from the TaeNToddPodcast. Started up towards the beginning of this year, right after COVID hit. So we had nothing to do. So we said, let's just go ahead and do it. Just been a fan of the team for over 15 years, more than half of my life. And I just want to see some winning football. The least I can do, though, is win on here today. And, if they're not going to win in real life, I can win on here.
There we go. I'm going to stay unbiased during this episode, but I have been following some of Pascal's work on Twitter. And if you aren't, man, you're definitely missing out. So definitely check it out. Javier?
Appreciate that.
I'm Javier. I produce, co-host the Fourth and Goal podcast with my buddy Matt Barr. We've been doing that about almost two full years now. Started off as just kind of like a little hobby, and it's kind of exploded bigger than I ever could imagine. So getting shout outs from folks like yourself to come on other people's shows is greatly appreciated. So I'm looking forward to it. Niners haven't been the greatest this year. Injuries have decimated this season. So like Pascal said, maybe I can win on this one.
Hey, man, I will tell you, man, guys that usually win on the show, guys and girls actually that win on the show, I'm not saying it's connected, but they have went on to be successful on the real team game. So I'm not going to say giving your team a nudge, but you can be. Who knows? All right. So if you watched the show before, you know the rules and what we do here. We go through 4 fast round questionnaires where we quiz our opponents on data analytics from various sites. So Sharp Football Stats, Next Gen Stats, Pro Football Focus, Team Rankings. Any site that has any data as it pertains to football, we use it here and we quiz our opponents on it. We go through four quarters as in a football game. In the event that we're tied after the 4 quarters, we go into overtime. Now, overtime is a little different in the sense that you have 3 questions. Our opponents get to choose from 1 to 3 points, and the degree of difficulty raises with these questions. So if they want a layup line, they can go 1 point, but if they choose for 3, 9 times out of 10, they got to go in the bank. All right. So if I have no questions from our participants today,
no, I think I'm good.
Team ready to go. Pascal is the visiting team headed out west. You get to decide whether or not you want to take the first question or the first or the second half.
I'll take first of the second half. I'm a defer guy.
Okay, all right. Defense is sometimes the best offense. All right. We've seen that a lot here. Let's see if it bodes well for you. Javier, up first. What's the game plan? Here we go. Javier, your first quarter question. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin has been Washington's most consistent threat this season. His 108 targets leads the team, and his 16 big play receptions, which is any reception over 20 yards, is 7th best in the league. According to Next Gen Stats, he accounts for 43.16% of the team's total air yards. Which Washington player is second on the team in total air yards? Is it A, wide receiver Cam Sims, B, tight end Logan Thomas, C, running back J.D. McKissic, or D, running back Antonio Gibson?
I'm going to go with Sims.
All right. Javier chooses A, Cam Sims, who has turned it on as of late, but unfortunately he is not the answer here. It is in fact B, tight end Logan Thomas. He accounts for 22% of the total air yards with 69 targets, 43 receptions, 426 yards. As we've seen with Alex Smith, he loves Logan Thomas almost
Simms was good,
more
though.
than Terry McLaurin. Yeah, Sims has turned it on
He
late,
looks
but
really good.
yeah, he looks very good. Logan Thomas has been his safety blanket in crucial moments. But like you said, Cam Sims has made big plays down the stretch. All right, so San Francisco fails to put up any points. We'll see if Pascal's decision to go second will help him out with his first quarter question. Pascal, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Your first quarter question. Head coach Kyle Shanahan is arguably one of the most gifted offensive minds amongst the coaching ranks. He has a unique ability to create mismatches at each position through his various personnel groupings. According to Sharp Football Stats, which personnel grouping does the 49ers have the highest successful play rate? Is it A, 11 personnel, B, 21 personnel, which is essentially 2 running backs, 1 tight end, C, 12 personnel, or D, 22 personnel?
I'm going to go with, was it B, 21, 2 running backs, 1 tight end?
That is B. Is that your answer?
Yeah, that's 21, right?
Yeah, that's 21. Yep.
Okay, yeah, 21 is my answer, B.
Okay. He chooses B and he jumps out the gate, ladies and gentlemen, with a 7-0 lead. He is
Let's
correct.
go.
Kyle Shanahan is one of the few offensives that utilizes a fullback, and they are successful with it. In that personnel grouping, they have a 50% successful play rate, averaging 8.9 yards per pass and 5 yards per carry when they run the ball. All right, so very successful in 21 personnel. I'm sure we'll see a lot.
Hope they don't do that on Sunday.
We'll see.
It's the same recipe as 2019. It's just, I don't know what to do. Oh, man. Missing George Kittle, baby. Missing George Kittle.
Here we go. I hear the frustration. I hear the frustration in your voice.
I'm frustrated.
Here we go. Pascal jumps out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Here we go, opening up the second. Javier, your second quarter question. The Washington defense is currently 4th best in the league, only allowing just over 300 yards per game. Also, during this current 3-game win streak, they are only allowing a 31.28 third down conversion rate, which would put them about first in the league on third down. According to TeamRankings.com, how many third down conversions are the Washington defense allowing per game? Is it A, 5.8, B, 4.5, C, 5.1, or D, 4.7 third down conversions per game?
Oh, that's tough. That's a good one. If they're at 30, if they're at 32, 33%, I'm going to go with the lowest, D, 4.7.
So the lowest is B, 4.5.
B, 4.5, yeah.
I love it when people start doing math. I do, but unfortunately, in this case, it wasn't helping you. All right.
I thought it was a good strategy. I thought it was a great strategy.
I did too. I heard the math.
It's like,
31. I was like, okay, he's doing it. Okay, maybe. The answer is in fact C, though, 5.1. All right. San Francisco is averaging 4.9 third down conversions per game. All right. So when you get down to the numbers, and if you're one of those guys that believe it matter or not, that could be a key stat, whether or not Washington can get off the field and San Francisco can sustain drives. Right. Currently, San Francisco has a 41.26 third down conversion rate. So again, you're going against a team that has the ability to sustain long drives. All right. So going into the second quarter, San Francisco still down 7-0. All right. This is a crucial time in the game because this is usually where participants take off. So let's see if we can get a 14-0 commanding lead from Pascal. Here we go.
Let's see.
Your second quarter question. Quarterback Nick Mullen has struggled to man the ship since getting the starting nod since week 9. He has thrown an interception in each of his games while connecting on less than 70% of all of his passes. According to Next Gen Stats, what is Nick Mullen's aggressiveness percentage? All right, so we know what aggressiveness is. How many times is he trying to throw it in when there's 2 or more defenders around the ball? All right. Okay. Is it 14.3%, B, 11.1%, C, 19.3%, or D, 13.9%?
Okay. I'm gonna go. It was 14 point.
So you're
A, I think.
14.3%.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 14.3.
Okay. All right. So Pascal chooses A, 14.3%. and he jumps out to a 14-0 lead, ladies and gentlemen. He is correct.
See,
all right.
this isn't like the Washington football team. We don't get leads like this. Not this
No.
year.
Hey man, hey man, we're on the ball right now.
I'm just trying to figure out where he found that stat from. Like, where'd you get that from?
Hey man,
I look at next gen stat. I've never seen that one before. That's interesting.
Hey,
that's
man,
very interesting.
You got to go in there and find it, man. Washington their defense is allowing only 64% completion rate right now. The passing rate they're allowing is at 87.7%. All right. So if you guys have any chance of potentially winning this game, he's gonna have to get it downfield, try to make some tight passes. But unfortunately, what we've seen is that's not part of Nick.
Yeah, they don't do that. We don't do that at all. We don't do it at all.
Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, going to the half here, we have a 14-0 lead. Javier will have to be perfect in the second half, and Pascal will have to be just utterly terrible in the second half.
He's going to have to pull Nick Mullins in the second half.
Here we go. Switching the field. Pascal back up. Your third quarter question. Here we go. Okay. With all the injuries to their defensive side of the ball, the 49ers still find a way to have a productive defense. They currently rank in the top 10 in all defensive categories. According to the Football Outsiders, how many offensive yards are the 49ers allowing per drive? Is it A, 29.9 yards, B, 32.54 yards, C, 31.99 yards, or D, 27.86 yards?
Okay. I'm going to go with 31. It was, I think, B again, 31.3.
So it's A is 29.9, B is 32.5, C is 31.9, and D is 27.8.
I'm going to go C, 31.9.
All right, C, 31.99. Pascal not only puts the game away, ladies and gentlemen, but he is going for the remarkable sweep here because he is correct.
I don't know what's happening.
In fact, C, 31.99. All right.
I don't know what's happening, guys.
Washington is currently offensively only getting about 30 yards per drive. Right, their average starting field position is on their 30-yard line. All right. Yeah. So again, when you start looking at these close games, what the stat that matters, who's going to fold? All right, who's going to fold there? All right. Well,
good stats.
We're going to play it out for better sake here. All right. So in the third quarter, here we go. Javier, your question. Leading candidate or the NFL 2020 Comeback Player of the Year, Alex Smith, is known for his tendency to go underneath and take the check down option versus pushing the ball downfield. However, by moments in the game, he has shown that he's able to connect downfield if he has to. We just saw him do it with Cam Sims. He did it with Logan Thomas for a big touchdown. So when he needs to, he'll stretch the field. But more often than not, Captain Checkdown will throw it underneath very fast.
Be nice.
Right? That's a name, right? We love him, right? We love him in Washington, but that's the name, all right? According to Next Gen Stats, what is Alex Smith's average intended air yards? All right, so how far is he purposely throwing the ball downfield? Is it A, 3.9 yards, B, 5.1 yards, C, 4.8 yards, or D, 5.9 yards? Average intended air yards.
What were the numbers again?
So the options are A, 3.9 yards, B, 5.1 yards, C, 4.8 yards, or D, 5.9 yards?
I think I saw this the other day. 3.9 is his average intended air yards.
Gotta check the sources on that site you saw that on, because it is wrong. The answer is in fact B. 3.9 is his completed air yards per play.
CAY, that's right.
Yep, his intended is 5.1. All right, which is worse than the league. His time to throw is 2.64 seconds, which is also in the bottom 10 of the league. So it has been a wonderful thing watching him play this year, coming back from the injury. But some tendencies never change. He's going to get it out fast, and more often than not, it's going to be underneath. All right.
Yep.
So going into the fourth quarter, we still have a 21-0 lead, and Pascal is going for the we got to start giving out like different things when somebody can sweep all 4 questions. I'm sure it just doesn't feel like enough. But nonetheless, it might be a hoodie. It might be a hoodie. We might got to up the game a little bit. That might be a great idea. We might actually take that. We might take that.
We in pandemic times, man. Money's tight. Money's tight.
Hey, man. Hey, here we go. Here we go. For the sweep, a 28 lead, we'll say 28 point lead. Here we go. Last question. Tight end Jordan Reed will play against his former team that drafted him back in the 2013 draft. Once lauded as one of the premier tight ends in his league, injuries have plagued his career and overall production. However, Reed has seen an uptick in his production in the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. According to Pro Football Reference, what is Reed's average depth of target when he is a targeted receiver? Is it A, 7.6 yards, B, 5.2 yards, C, 6.4 yards, or D, 9.1 yards? Average depth of target. How far is the ball downfield?
Okay, can you read them for me one more time?
Absolutely. So these options are A, 7.6 yards, mm-hmm. B, 5.2 yards, C, 6.4 yards, or D, 9.1 yards.
I'm going to go C, 6.4. I don't think it's right, but I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, it's the first time you're on. The answer is A, 7.6 yards. That's his average depth of target. On the season, he has 22 receptions for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm sure it will be a good feeling for him and Trent Williams alike if he's able to find the end zone against the Washington football team on Sunday. All right.
Jordan Reed is wide open all the time.
He's so good, man. He's so good.
He's open.
You just gotta find him, man. You just gotta
frustration in my voice here. Like this is.
I hear it, man. I feel like it's about to pop in a little bit.
These quarterbacks, man. I tell you what.
I feel like it's gonna pop in a little bit. Here we go for points. All right, the bettors had this. We'll just say they had San Francisco as a 14-point underdog. All right, so let's see if we can stay in that boat. All right. But for the sake of this, that's what we'll say. Here we go.
Yeah.
Javier, your fourth quarter question. Offensively, Washington has not been as electric compared to the rest of the league. They rank near the bottom of every offensive stat category this season. According to Sharp Football Stats, where do they rank in the explosive play rankings in the league? So explosive play is any pass over 15 yards or any run over 10 yards, all right? How explosive are they on offense? Is it A, they rank 29th in the league, B, 18th in the league, C, 22nd in the league, or D, dead last at 32nd in the league?
What were the numbers? It's not 32nd. They're not dead last.
So it is A, 29th in the league, B, 18th in the league, or C, 22nd in the league.
I want to say 22nd. C, they're not terrible. I think they're not the Jets, that's for sure. I'm gonna go with C.
Okay, he chooses C, 22nd in the league, and he gets on the board, ladies and gentlemen. All right, he keeps it competitive.
Keeps it respectable around here.
Right. You are correct.
You gave him all the easy questions, bro. I know what's going on.
No, bro, that's pretty hard on the board, man. So
they didn't feel easy.
So they have a 7% chance when they're passing the ball. They have 30 explosive passing plays and 32 explosive running plays. Now with Antonio Gibson out this game, I don't think the running option is going to be there as much as we'd like it to be. I don't think Peyton Barber maybe will give them that option. So they'll have to dig and dump their way down the field. We'll see if that is an advantage 49ers or advantage Washington. All right, we'll see. But tonight, I guess the questions were in favor of Pascal representing the Washington football team with a 21-7 final. Sir, the floor is yours for a victory speech.
I just want to, first of all, thank God. I want to thank my wife, thank my dog. There's so many people who have built me up to this moment. So thank you to all of them. I did it for Washington Football Nation. that's what I did it for.
There we go. There we go. I don't know if you was winning a Grammy or a football game, but it works. It works. It works. Javier, you don't get a victory speech, sir, but
right.
the floor is yours for a score prediction.
I think Washington wins this game. I think they win 23-16. I think it's, the Niners have an issue with getting into the red zone. The quarterback play doesn't give me much confidence as well. And then of course our right side of the offensive line versus this very, very tough front with the Washington football team with Allen and Payne and Sweat and Chase Young. I think the Washington football team can take advantage of our offensive line on the right side. Specifically, Mike McGlinchey's been struggling all season. I kind of fear for Nick Mullins' life on Sunday with a guy like McGlinchey, protecting him with, Chase Young and Montez Sweat coming after him from that side. I think the Niners are gonna have a hard time throwing the ball and getting it out, but it is Kyle Shanahan. He always finds some type of way to find somebody who's going to get open, real quick passes. But I think Washington pulls this one out. They have a lot more to play for. They're in contention for a division title in the NFC East. So I think Washington pulls it out 23-16.
I like it. Pascal, your score prediction?
I'm going to go 21-17 Washington. And I really don't always pick them to win, but I'm picking the team that feels like they have momentum, which I think is a real thing. And so my key for the game is really for Washington to stop the 49ers running game. If they start running the ball well, it'll be a long day. If they're able to contain the run and force Mullins to throw, I think they can get that 21-17, and they'll probably score 21 of those points in the second half, but a win is a win.
A win is a win. A win is a win. Now, Washington is my team, but for the sake of this, again, I am unbiased. I will say I like the stat you just threw out running the ball. Washington is allowing 100.9 rushing yards per game, which is fifth best in the league. So, again, gets that vaulted D-line. I think, again, as it's been the entire year, they will be the key whether or not we're successful in changing the field position, right? It depends on where Alex get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We know his style of play. If he has a long field, it makes that task a lot harder. But if they're able to shorten the field, it may work out for Washington. So I'll save my prediction. Again, at the end of the day, I just want an exciting game and an injury-free game. I think both teams have dealt with that a lot, and we don't need any more heading into the home stretch.
Yeah.
Too many.
Right?
Yeah.
So Pascal's the winner. You didn't get the 28, which because of Javier would have got you a hoodie, but you will receive a shirt that says, "Hey, Washington, hire me as a scout." Again, nice, gentlemen, okay. Awesome. I thank you both for joining on this show, man. Again, it's always love, man. Again, this has been another great episode of What's the Game Plan. Thanks for watching.